Guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is Raw Focus. I am Jeramie Lou. This is a very fun episode, guys. I've been doing these kind of on and off every single day, on and off, pretty much on every single day during everything. It's April 27th now, and we're kind of trugging along here. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling energized. I did my hair. I'm wearing AirPods, and life is good. I just got an email that my SBA loan application has been approved. I don't know what that means, but it's been approved. So hopefully that's some good news for us. And life is good. We have a few days before we're opening. You're going to hear this podcast. We kind of talk about business with Justin here. And I'm going to open regardless. So guys, today on the podcast is Justin Impossible. And yes, that is his real name. He actually got it legally changed. We never mentioned his original last name, and I'm not going to because he didn't, so I'm not going to. But I've known Justin for a while now. Pre-photo shoots, we were at weddings together, and we have some mutual friends. So we kind of just knew the same circles. And now we've actually probably even closer than we were before. He's married to an amazing woman, Michelle Impossible. How cool is that last name, guys? And our kids go to school together up in South Reno. And so we're kind of in each other's circles a lot. He is very social. He's an extrovert. He and I run in the same circles as far as business goes. And he's been talking a lot about, or with the mayor on Facebook Live to kind of go through everything that's going. So he's community as well as me. And his magic shop is doing great. So he teaches magic. He does magic. He has a theater. And it's amazing. So he's a really good dude. If you're in the Reno area, you probably already know Justin in some form or aspect, but this podcast kind of puts us into a personal aspect of him, which is why I kind of built it. We didn't really want to talk about his magic. We wanted to talk about him as a person. So that's where we're at. So guys, if you're new to this or you've been watching this, please take a chance or a second to subscribe, share, comment, post, whatever podcasts do. I'm still learning about it all. And it would greatly help the podcast so much as I'm just doing this for myself right now. All the information on how to get a hold of me, contact me is in the notes or comments or description of wherever you guys are looking at. And I want to thank you guys so much for the support as of late. I have a ton of these books that I'm going to push through and focus a lot on small businesses as well to kind of get them going. But guys, that's it. So hang out, listen to Justin and I talk. There's a little bit of downtime at the beginning as we kind of get it set up, but it's a super fun conversation between friends and businesses. So here is Justin Impossible. Justin Impossible.
Yeah, I rocked pink just because of you, man.
Thanks, buddy. I like pink.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So thank you for doing this. This is I started this, I want to say like 3 weeks ago or something like that. And it's been going well. So I've been interviewing a bunch of people, and then this week I'm focusing after you, I'm focusing on a lot of small businesses who just want to put their information out and what they're doing with everything. So what we're going to do is we're just going to chat. We're just going to talk between friends. I really started this because I feel like in my life, I know a lot of people and they know a lot about me, but I have no idea about like them as people because I'm so focused on like myself. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about, but anything that you have to push and pull and all that, I want to hear about it. So business and,
I'll just
how you're doing with the
sort of take reins on that and however you want to.
Yeah, and it's just a talk. So I mean, we're gonna have the live going, but I'm not gonna really focus on the live part. We're not really commenting on it. What's happening? Why is this falling right now?
What?
Look, it's falling. My microphone. It's slowly falling.
It's slowly falling.
It's supposed to be up here.
It's slowly falling. I don't know. Man, I really want this to be more.
What light is that back there?
Oh, I've got a couple of them, but one just broke.
What are you using though?
We use these guys. We have a ring light, and then we have other lights as well that we use for different LEDs and stuff. But this one, we got one that was not behaving properly. And so I only have one now, which is pissing me off.
Right. I buy the blooms are always good, the Philips Hue.
Yep. Yeah.
So I have a bunch of blooms, ring lights, and then strip lights.
Yep. Well, the girls are home right now because they've been working. They're working on school. They go back to dad's today. So sometimes it's always entertaining, like to figure out different spaces that we use and shit, like, you know.
I know. I'm lucky that I have a designated spot for everything.
Yep. My designated spot is closed right now.
Right. It should be.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right, 3. Let's do this.
Big Brother is watching. That's true.
Perfect. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go live. I have that little list that you sent me as well. So we'll kind of go into that.
Yeah, whatever you want.
But easy peasy, man. How have you guys been doing through this whole thing? The girls are just going back and forth?
Yeah, we've always been on a 3-4 day split.
Right.
And so they bounce back between dad and then us and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's good. It's a little bit stressful at certain times because just making sure, I think through all this, like, you can control your family. You know where everyone's been. Right. But with kids that go back and forth, like you that aspect's a little bit different. So we can talk about that too, whatever.
It's tough. I mean, yeah, well, just in general, I mean, I was always thinking of like the virus itself, going from back and forth from location to location.
Yeah.
If anybody's concerned on that, but I mean, family's family. I think we didn't, like Lindsay's family didn't come over for like 3 weeks, or they would just come over and stand outside.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't let them in. I don't have family to do anything, so we didn't have to worry about that on that end. But
yeah,
it worked out pretty well, pretty well for us.
That's cool.
Awesome, buddy.
I see Dave's still doing, he's projecting it up.
Dude, yeah, I don't know exactly like what his business is per se, but it's always projects,
he's your
man.
Father-in-law. How do you not know that?
Because he doesn't have it. Like, he's like, okay, I'm going to build barn. Like, he's a landscaper is where that's what he does. And so,
oh, really? That's his main thing?
Yeah, like in Valencia, he's a landscaper. So he comes here and he starts building barn doors, and everyone wants barn doors and then custom things. And so I'm like, well, what is it that I don't even know if there's a business name. I know he still has the, Forster Landscaping in Valencia and on Instagram. With Justin Impossible. From @Impossible Magic Shop and Theater. Awesome.
Have a good interview.
Yeah. Hey, are you gonna go, Winko?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to grab some more tuna then? We do.
We have a ton of tuna.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we have a ton.
All right.
I just need really fresh produce, like fruits and veggies and stuff. Okay. And some egg whites.
Do you have a mask?
I do. Yeah, I'll snap on the way out.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Love you. Have a good interview. What's up, Jer?
What up, player?
Bye, crazy. Hey, that's a good sweatshirt. Here, come here. Come on this side. No, this side. You got cords. You're like, you want to see a dope sweatshirt?
Yes.
We talk.
I'd like to see.
Rocking the merch.
Oh, yeah. Ryan has one of those.
Yeah, she's always rocking the merch.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Time to update.
There we go.
Though.
She's like rocking the merch. Huh? Yep. Hey, by the way, I will call Joanne's today. Okay, and I'll see if I can go pick up. Cool.
All right, buddy. Ready?
3 inch phone, 1 inch.
3 and 1?
Yeah, so because the 1 you have to get the bug hit, but then for the 3, that's how you build the muzzle.
Okay. Sorry, they're just about to leave.
That's all right.
They're building furry suits.
I'm gonna talk. Oh my god.
They're really good at their furry suits are like freaking epic.
Yeah.
Like it's
like furry, like those conventions, right?
Yeah, like furry cons and stuff like that. They're like making those like legit. Yeah, but see, your head goes somewhere else.
I'm going to the sex thing. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, no.
I just don't know when it starts, man. I don't know what you guys do on your downtime.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge, buddy. All right, hang tight. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Raw Focus here. We have everybody should know Justin by now, but this is Justin Impossible. And he runs the Impossible Magic Shop? Is that?
Impossible's Magic Shop and Theater.
And theater.
Yeah,
So
I
I've
say
met
it. I say it like a announcer voice. And theater.
Yeah. This is my announcer voice. I didn't know you didn't know that. Justin's a really, really good friend of mine, and one of the reasons that I started this podcast was just to kind of get to know my friends a little bit better, a little self-serving. And so Justin was one of those first people that I thought of, but I wanted to give myself a good 2 or 3 weeks before I brought him on. Also, he is an entrepreneur, super busy all the time. He's been doing these talks with the mayor and other people. What is it called? Like a round table?
Yeah, we call them a round table because it's, I host them, but then we kind of go around the table and I give a little bit of backstory of everybody and then just open up for questions and stuff like that.
So that sounds way more professional than what I do. So we're definitely not going to do any of that.
It's different platforms.
Right. So for those listening on the podcast right now, we're Zooming. It is the end of April right now. Justin's at home up in South Reno, and I am in Sparks. So we're talking to each other via Zoom, going Facebook Live.
So really, I should ask you what the weather's like in Sparks right now.
It's amazing. Dude, it's supposed to be 80 degrees today.
Right. But see, that's the thing about Reno is that it could be storming in South Reno, snowing, and in Sparks, it's like 80 degrees and I can get there in 20 minutes. I feel like you guys are always windy up there, which is why I don't know if I could ever live up there. That wind amount is never going to be my friend. Yeah. I mean, if you really care about your hair, Jeramie Lou,
I do.
Right? You got a certain hair thing going on. You step outside and you realize your hair game is no longer.
No, it's over. You have to dodge your face into the wind.
That's right.
I haven't. Lindsay cut my hair. She's gonna cut it again. But it's growing out. I've been wearing headphones with it. I'm wearing AirPods today, and I can hear everything around me, which I hate. But normally I'm wearing my Beats, which are like sound noise canceling, and so I just get to focus. But it's not happening. One thing I forgot to mention is Justin is a magician, guys. His last name is Impossible. He wasn't born with that last name, but it was changed.
I mean, are you sure though? Are you sure?
I'm sure. I remember I've known you for a while. Yeah, we can tell the last name if you want. When did you change your last name, and why did you change your last name?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. Number one is when you fly and they announce your name, or when you get pulled over by police.
Right.
You're no longer talking about the flight or your ticket. Okay, you're talking about like when I give my passport, if you're like an impossible, is that the first thing they always ask? Is that really your last name? So the last time I got pulled over, I was going pretty fast,
right?
And he pulls me over and he says, it took me a little while to catch up to you. That's never a good sign. Like when they open with that,
right?
And I'm like, hey, sorry. I've never said I was a good driver. I've always said I was a good magician, but not a good driver. So he says, yeah, I clocked you going, whatever it was. And he goes, is your last name really Impossible? And I'm thinking, you just ran my plates. Like,
right.
Right?
The answer.
And then he goes, my son loves you. Can I take a quick selfie? And I'm like, is this really happening right now? Yeah.
Did you negotiate the ticket at that point? Like,
oh, there was no ticket. It was just like, hey, I need you to slow down. And I'm like, got me, man. It was cool, but I think it's definitely a branding. Everything is Impossible. Everything is Impossible Life. Everything is Impossible's Magic Shop.
Right.
Impossible
but I mean, like,
University.
It wasn't like an anti your name or anything, right? It was more.
Oh, my dad was not super stoked on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would think.
Yeah, he keeps asking me like, hey, if you guys have, a child of your own, are you going to go back to the previous last name? And Michelle and I are thinking, dude, how many kids have the last name Impossible?
Right.
I mean, that's just like, that's kind of a shit right there. So,
yeah.
But I get where he's coming from and that kind of stuff. So I changed it, was it 5 years ago? I think about 5 years ago.
But was that your stage name first, or did you have a stage name?
Yeah, it was my stage name first. And then the more that I thought about it, the more, because I would say, here's my driver's license. My last name's Impossible, and really it wasn't Impossible. And so the more we just started thinking about it, the more the branding was just there. So yeah,
I think it's cool. It's a unique last name. It's definitely a conversation starter. I've always joked, it'd be cool to, completely change my name. Like I would have done like,
What would you change it to?
Dude, I don't know. But like when I was younger, like I really wanted an Asian name. because I'm half Asian, half white, and my name's Jeramie. So my mom's white, so she got Jeramie. My last name's Lou. But I really wanted like this, like, you know, like, I don't know, like tribal last name or tribal first name or something where people just.
But your last name is Lou, but
Right.
your first name is also spelled very differently from a standard Jeramie, in my opinion.
No, it is, and I have to explain it to everybody. I even have to explain Lou to everybody. Lou, Lou. I'm like, no, Lu, Leu. I'm like, sure, like whatever. Just, you know, stop asking me questions. It's literally the way it sounds. Lu, you're done.
Fair enough.
It's just one of those things, man. So, you and Michelle got married a couple years ago, 2 years ago.
No, this is what's crazy. Is last year we were okay. So we both been married once.
Right.
Yeah. We were like, oh man, do we need to spend money on this big wedding again, or do we just want to travel? So we were like, well, we'll just get eloped. And then my dad's a pastor, pretty much, and he's like, hey, let me wed you. And I said, okay. And so there was so many things that we did last year that I'm amazed that if we would have done it this year, nothing would have happened, right? We took to Florida, we got married, we just so many different things. So we're actually coming up on our 1-year anniversary in about 15 days.
Oh, wow.
Which is super exciting.
What are you going to do?
You know what? The same thing. You know what's crazy is we're not a huge family on anniversaries, birthdays, Valentine's Day, because we do that shit all the time.
Right.
I'm not like, oh, I need to get her flowers. Like, we do that stuff all the time.
But look, I mean, you say that, and then you don't show up with flowers on Valentine's Day.
No, she's not like that. She's not like a normal
You don't think she's like that until she is. Until like 6 months down the road, you do something wrong and be like, hey, she's like, you didn't give me flowers for Valentine's Day. You remember that? And you're like, oh, shit. Just do it, dude.
She's not that way. She's like
Mother's Day is coming up. I mean, you have to have stuff ready to go.
No.
I'm going to help you right now, bro. All
right. I don't know what it is. Like, she's just not like that. I've never been like that. We're not like Hallmark people. We do that stuff all the time.
Right. I mean, Lindsay and I talk about that, but every year during Christmas, and I screw myself over. Every year during Christmas, I'm like, yeah, we're not getting each other anything. It's cool. And then I like get elaborate every single year, and I go all out, and then I get nothing. And I'm sitting there like, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
that bug you?
Like, it's cool. Yes.
Yeah, it does bug you. But you can't. Why do you let it bug you when you specifically said no? It's okay.
Because I'm also the type of person that says I don't. When people ask me what you want for your birthday, I'm like, I don't know. You should know me. Get me shit that I know you think I'd like. But if somebody's like, what do you want for your birthday? I'll just go buy it for you. I'm like, no, I'm an adult. Like, I'm an adult man. I can go buy my own shit. And that's the thing. And of course, the gifts that I give are freaking legendary and epic, you know. And that's just where I'm at with everything.
Hey, my birthday was April 5th. I didn't get anything legendary.
It's in the mail.
Okay, thanks, man.
Also, my daughter's
UPS is struggling right now.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know what's happening. I'll check that tracking. My daughter's is the 6th, so we did a parade. We did a parade for you too, but you weren't here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
What'd you do for your birthday?
You know what? We actually, it was really cool. So we just launched. So Michelle and I have the Impossible Life. And we started doing that last year, and it started to blow up. And then we were going to do the Impossible Life with this grassroots broadcasting company in Carson City. And one of the problems with that, I started to get really burned out because people were like, oh, you should reach this demographic, or you should talk about this. No, we do this for us, and it's our way to just have fun. So this last one that we launched a day ago, on my birthday, Michelle set it up that we didn't have the girls, but Shane brought the girls to the magic shop. They moved out all the chairs and turned it into a roller rink, pretty much.
Right.
Music, lasers, fog. And we had a birthday party there, just the 5 of us. And that was amazing. Michelle baked a cake. It was just a ton of fun for my birthday. And it was some sort of, how do you say, you just needed it because we're all at home. So it was something that was totally different. It was awesome. I was super stoked. So we did that. And I think Michelle made poke bowls that night and had some sake. So it was like we had sushi, but we didn't really have sushi.
Right.
It was fun. that was cool. And we're very low key in that regards because I think I do so many events and I'm always out, with people. We just like to chill, watch a movie, so it was awesome. It was very low key though. And I really enjoy that. I tell her all the time, don't give me anything. And we really don't. I don't need anything.
Nobody needs anything, dude. Nobody needs it.
No, our thing is that we do like house projects. So we'll demo a wall and we work on that stuff. I remember 2 years ago, Michelle sitting at the dinner table, right? And she didn't live here yet. And we're just looking at this wall and I'm like, I wonder what this wall would look like without the wall. Right. And she's like, go grab the sledgehammer. And I'm looking at her like, are you serious?
Yeah. It's not 10 minutes later. She can totally say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And 10 minutes later, she's got a sledgehammer and she's breaking down a wall. Right. This is where this is the chick. This is her mindset. Right. And it's awesome. So a lot of times we don't do presents. We just do projects. Right now we're building a chicken coop and we have 7 chickens and they're raising 4 other chickens for somebody else. Like the crazy stuff that I never thought I'd be doing 3 months ago.
Right. And you guys have a good amount of land in the backyard. We've been to your house and
it's cool.
You guys have the area and stuff to do that project. And I mean, that's you guys. I think that's awesome. I feel like you guys have kind of found each other. I've known you obviously through your ex, through now, through your transition with your all your animals.
Yeah.
All, and riding motorcycles and crashing your motorcycle.
Twice.
Once was good for me. I crashed one time and I'm done. Like I was out, sold the bike. And
you know what's funny about that? Someone just asked me because they saw it in the driveway the other day and they're like, hey, when was the last time you rode that? I got married and I haven't ridden it since. Yeah. And it's this amazing piece of art that I could probably someone had it in their living room in LA and I had it shipped here and I haven't ridden it in a year because
are you afraid to ride it now because of the family?
It's not that I'm afraid to ride it. I just know myself. And so some people are like, but you know yourself, go slower. That motorcycle has a MotoGP motor in it. It is not meant to go slow, right? You drive it like you stole it. And
But it's a lot different, man. It's a lot different having a family. It's a lot different, pushing that out. I remember right after I crashed, I rode around for a little bit. I healed up, took about a month, and I got back on the bike. And I just remember looking everywhere, thinking all the potential, like I'm going to die here. Somebody's going to hit me. And it was always the other people. Because that's what happened, how I crashed. Somebody hit a bunch of rocks on Geiger grade. The rocks fell down. I hit the rocks, and then I bounced and fell. It had nothing to do with my riding. And so I'm like, these fucking assholes are going to kill me. And then I was like,
that's good that you admit that. I fully admit both times that I went down, dude, it was my fault. I was being a dumbass. Right.
I wish.
I shouldn't have, I either went too fast. The last time that I went down where I took my 2-year break before I bought this one.
Right.
My parents said, hey, come over. We got some missionaries at the house. I want you to meet them. I have some jeans and a tank top on. I'm riding to my parents' house and I see a guy passing me on a motorcycle. It's like 90 degrees out. He's got full suit on and I'm like, loser. Yeah. That's not cool. I crashed 5 minutes from my parents' house. Just messed up like road this, rage. All jacked up right here.
Yeah.
I got another part of my tattoo that's jacked up. My leg has got this huge hole in it.
You just fall on one side?
Yeah, one side. My Nixon watch, I actually posted it on Instagram. They reshared it because that Nixon watch, this is all jacked up. I don't know if you can see that.
Right.
And I slid. That thing's like a block of steel. I slid, and it saved my entire hand that I do magic with. And I fully admit, as soon as that went down, I was like, I am the dumbass who did not wear the proper equipment,
right?
And thought he was a cocky, a-hole,
right?
And I was.
So when I crashed, same thing. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Oof.
And it was a hot day, and I didn't have signals right almost to VC, but I was on the side of the road, and then I had to call somebody, and I couldn't. And my friend Charles had to go down and get somebody. I stood there for 4 hours.
Is that Charlie Burrows?
Yep.
Yeah, big motorcycle veteran as well. Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in years, man.
Yeah.
In years.
No, man. It's one of those things where, again, people will tell me all the time, well, you just need to go slower. No. I know myself, and I think because of that, I just don't put myself in that situation, right? And that's just what it is right now. So
I miss it, but I can't carry shit and ride at the same time. That's where I'm at now. Like,
no, you don't have a motorcycle anymore?
No. I ended up getting, when my dad passed, I got his. So I had an R6, and then I got my dad's CBR 1000.
Yeah.
And then sold that. I rode it like 3 times, and then I was like, I'm just never going to ride it. So I sold it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it is what it is. But so that aspect, I haven't touched that. So really, like, I think 3 months ago that I would be raising chickens and doing some of the projects I am now? No.
Do you have any like eggs or anything in your act coming up that you're going to use these? Like...
No, but you know what? There is a really cool video. I'll share it today just because we talked about it. David Copperfield, back in the early 90s, did a routine. He did it during a show, and he also did it on The Tonight Show, a thing called a duck bucket, okay? It's a bucket. You can show it completely empty. It's just like this big wooden bucket. And it's called a duck bucket because he used a duck in there. And you put a live duck in there, the duck disappears, or vice versa, right? Right. And so Piper, both my girls take magic lessons, and Piper is in love with these chickens. And there's this one chicken that she can put it in her hand upside down and immediately just falls asleep, right? She's training the chicken. So now she wants to use the duck bucket to do a full routine with this chicken.
But is the chicken a baby right now?
Yeah, so we got those chickens. We've got a couple different dates on some of these chickens, but the first set we got on March 20th or something around there. They're approaching 6 weeks. They could technically go out to the coop around 8 to 9 weeks, and then they're raising another 4 for Michael Tragash. He's got a bunch of chickens already. He was sort of the one who sort of instigated the chicken movement for us. I call it a movement. And he wanted some more, but his wife was like, no, we're not raising more chicks because they are sort of a messy pain in the ass.
Right.
So he gets on the phone and he's like, you girls are doing so good with school and you're so responsible. Would you like to raise 4 more chickens? And they're like, yes, please.
Of course.
Yeah. That's
of course. Good job. All right, good job, Mike. Yeah, that's I don't know. We can't do stuff like that. We tried to grow some herbs last year. I'm going to try again this year, but that didn't work out at all.
I tried to grow some herbs. It didn't work out.
And bugs got in it. It was a thing. So I've learned a little bit here. Art Miner says hello.
Mr.
Actually,
Art.
He said hi to Michelle. And he says,
like, hi, Michelle.
Said hi to Michelle. Forget it. Art.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate that. You didn't care. You officiated. I shot Art's wedding. You officiated Art's wedding. Had a little magic inside, but Art is one of your magic students.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
I call him Ace. I call him Ace. Ace,
that's right.
I dropped Ace once during the wedding because they asked me to go by his original name. I wasn't going to do any magic. That thing, if you noticed during that wedding, I prepped a ton for it.
Right.
And I think that comes from my dad being a pastor, and I went to him when Ace will enjoy the story. He asked me to officiate his wedding a week after I fired him.
You fired him?
I did fire him, yes. And you know what? He says that was one of the best things for him, because when people work for me, I tend to really teach them life skills because it's a magic shop. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You pretty much just do magic. I don't treat it that way. I treat it as a full business and life. Like, you can learn a lot. Some of the best magicians started just from working at magic shops. Steve Martin is a great example. He worked at the Disney magic shop at Disneyland.
I remember that.
Yeah. So he often says, I remember a month later, he's at a job interview with a tie. He texts me a picture and he's like, no one's wearing a tie. No one can barely talk, like, professionally, the right thing to say.
Right.
He's like, I just scored this job. I just want to say thank you. And I was like, that's cool, right? It was interesting, though. He asked me to officiate his wedding a week after that. And I talked to my dad. And I'm like, hey, I don't want this to be super awkward, but I was asked to officiate a wedding. What are your thoughts? And I thought he was going to be like, do that. No, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah.
Right.
Was not the response, but I prepped a lot for that. He's like, you can do magic in the ceremony. And I was like, I don't want it to be chintzy and cheesy.
Right.
I did one routine, right? I did the linking finger rings because I knew I was going to have the rings. So I did I borrowed some rings, their 2 rings and somebody else's, and I linked them. It was a cool routine. It was the one aspect of that ceremony, but it was really cool that you got to shoot it. Roman was there.
Right.
It was just cool having people that I've known for a while that I've seen get their start to where I was really trying to really push my business back in the day in Reno, and to see everyone then was really, really cool.
I think that was really that's the fun of it. I think, you know, to kind of see where we were and where we are now. I mean, I think one of my very first photo shoots, I think I was like a year in or something, and you contacted me to do a shoot, and we ended up just going to UNR and saying, hey, can we use your theater? And the guy's like, yeah, just go on in. We had no like plan or anything.
Nothing.
And then, you know, the only bummer with stuff like that is I learned how all the magic tricks are done. And so I'm sitting there, and then, you know, we went and did Fantasies in Chocolate a couple times where basically I walk in with the camera and they said, oh, you have a camera? Go, it's free. Go ahead.
I know.
And so if anybody needs to go into these events, just bring a camera and you're pretty much in. And you walk around, do magic. I take pictures of people, and, you know, we had to hide so you can reset your stuff. And I'm sitting there like, oh, that's how it's done? I'm like, I could do that. I could easily do that.
You also don't have a fear, right? A lot of people can't do that. So magicians, I tell them all the time, like, how do I get into trade shows? And how do I break into this business?
Right.
Like, dude, dress to the nine, walk in, and when someone says, hey, where's your badge? And you just say, hey, I'm with this. Dude, you look amazing. They're not going to stop you.
Nobody
There's
cares.
just certain things that you can do, but I think in your mind you say, no, I can't do this. Right. And you do it. The worst that they can say is no, and then you're like, okay, what do we do now? We figure out something else.
Right. So I want to get into a little bit into videos that you guys are doing with Michelle and everything, because I've been kind of talking you through how to use your camera, how to set up some things. But before that, just a question I like to wonder. So me as a photographer, I watch movies all the time, and I always look at, and I kind of ruin it for myself. I look at the lighting, I look at what's happening, and I kind of critique it, right? I'm like, this is how they're doing this is cool. Why are they doing lighting like that? You as a magician, do you watch magic shows and tricks and sit there and go, no, that's not how it's done. Oh, I see it right there. Oh, there's a mirror right there. Does it kind of kill it for you, or are you still inspired or in awe and still confused at some magic tricks?
That's good. Great question.
I know.
I will say, you're like, I know. I will say, I love going to magic shows. So a lot of times we host lectures, and that's where a magician will come in and pretty much reveal all their magic tricks. You pay like $30, and they'll go through and break down, 15 or 20 different magic tricks and teach you how to do them. I will always say that I would rather go to a magic show and watch a magician work a crowd and work how they transition and get out of things compared to a lecture, because you can learn a lot. I'm just like a little kid, man. I just want to be entertained. And so I love going to a magic show, and I'm like, oh, because I remember when I went to I remember the first time I went to a David Copperfield show, I actually sat next to an little old lady, and through that conversation, she was the daughter. Her mom was an assistant of Houdini's, and she was the daughter. Oh. And she was telling me stories, and I was like sitting next to her, and I remember just that magical feeling.
Right.
So I love performing. Still to this day, you know how many corporate shows I do. Right. I love performing kids' birthday parties, because if I can be that one magician for a kid who's super, super stoked. That's why Phoenix Phenomenal has been with me for 7 years now, because I was that birthday party magician, and now he's doing shows, making money, and like a little rock star. And
that's
it's so
cool. So you were hired to do his birthday.
Yeah, I remember coming to his house in Carson City, walking in. His dog back then was like old and had little socks on. I remember certain things about everybody's birthday party. Now I don't do outside birthday parties. I only do kids' birthday parties if they come to the shop, because I can control lighting, sound, music.
But also that's why you have the shop.
Yeah. And so, but I still do every single kid's birthday party. I have other people that do them with me.
Right.
But I still always do them. And if I'm not available, I schedule them out to when I am going to be there, because, again, number one, it gets out of that adult thing, because you do so many corporate shows and you're just dealing with suits and you're just like, oh, these people are driving me crazy.
Right.
Kids' birthday parties, man, they're fun. Kids are super stoked. They yell at you and they're like trying to call you out on stuff. And when you fry them, they're like, what?
Right. Yeah, I saw your hand move over there. And you're like, this hand?
Yeah, right. And so there's just a lot of different aspects to that are awesome. So to answer your question, to go back to it, like when the Illusionists were here, all those guys are friends. I was trying to push so many people to go see that show. Are there things in that show that I knew how to do, that I do, that some of my students do? That's the crazy thing. Some of my students will be like, I do that trick. Awesome. What can you take away from his presentation? Little bits to make yours better, right? I love going to see magic shows, man. I just like to be entertained.
Yeah. As long as as long as you still have the joy in being able to do it, or hear it and listen to it and watch it, I think that's key. Because I always watch these reviews on movies where, like, before I go to a movie, I'll kind of see like what Rotten Tomatoes says about it, and sometimes I just like watching, like Jackie Chan kick somebody's ass, and I don't need the story. He goes and fights this guy, boom, 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 and then people are like, the story and this doesn't match. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like,
watch a B movie, man. It could be fun. Do you still enjoy going and doing weddings?
Yeah, I still love it.
Like, the love of it.
Yeah, I love it because I only do 35 a year, but I also charge enough where it actually means something to me. So I'm not just going like, oh, it's another $500 wedding day. So if I'm away, like, how I have to think of it is I'm away from my kids for the day. I'm away from my kids from the time. So how does that make it worth it? Or if I were to go and something happens at home that I'm missing, say Jet starts walking, he's past that point, but like does something, I need to have some sort of justification that happens. So, and also with the price point of $4,000 or more from what I charge, I get amazing clients. I'm sure you're the same way. If you were to do a gig and somebody's like, yeah, we only have like $100 for this nonprofit, people really aren't going to pay attention. But if you're like, this is going to cost you $10,000 and then everybody's invested, or they paid $200 to be there and watch you, they're going to be invested, and it's going to be that more exciting.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like a mind meld on how everything works.
The one thing that I've always said about myself and my business is I don't take anything for granted. So I never want to have too big of a head to where I say, this is what I'm going to charge. I am super appreciative of all of my clients. And the only reason I say that is, even if I do charge $500 for an event, that's how long I would have to work at a normal job, just make that.
Right.
And I can go somewhere and, for, an hour and do that. So when I'm charging a certain amount for a kid's birthday party, which everyone knows in Reno, like, certain people contact me and they're like, this is what you charge for a kid's birthday party? Are you crazy? And I'm like, no, I may not be the person for you. I have 3 other people that can do it.
Exactly.
But I never come across like, well, if you only knew. No, because everyone's at a different price point.
Right.
And I'm always super appreciative that they reached out to me. And if I can't do it, I'll put them for the right person.
Right. And it's just hard to sell to the unsellable. That's, when people tag me on posts that say something to the effect of, I'm looking for a reasonable photographer. And then I go, well, what's reasonable to you? Because reasonable to me is what I charge. But if you mean a cheap photographer, or and that's, I don't take the time to educate them. I don't care. But it's just like, this is what I charge. Like, if I want to buy an Apple iPhone, I'm not going to call Apple and then have them explain to me why they're charging it. Either I'm going to buy it or I'm not going to buy it. But ultimately, we just don't focus. So you and Michelle have been doing, I've seen a bunch of series come on. So you've been doing some vlogs. You've been doing some kind of couch sessions where you guys are talking. You did mention the thing that you guys were filming earlier in the podcast. And then now Michelle's doing some makeup tutorials or videos.
Yeah. So we have The Impossible Life. And through The Impossible Life, we have 3 different things that we do. One is called Show Me the Magic. And that's where myself or another magician teaches Michelle how to do a magic trick.
Cool.
And then she does it for us, and she tries to fool me or you, depending on who's taught. Like, if I teach her some magic trick, she's not going to fool me, right? Jacques taught her a magic trick, or it's Jacques or Temu, and she totally fried me. And I was like, good job. Like, I love getting
You've
fried.
Never seen that trick before?
What's that?
You haven't seen that trick before?
No, I never saw it. And Jacques knew that. He's like, I think I got something I don't think Justin's seen before. And I love getting fried, because if I get fried, I'm like, oh, because that's that feeling. You're like, I have no idea how that worked, right? That was awesome. So we do those. Then Michelle and I will do regular sort of video podcasts, which I don't call those the vlogs. Those are like couch sessions. They'll be very specific topics, and we'll just be talking. And so a lot of people enjoy those. The vlogs, though, are my favorite, because that's almost like a day in the life or a certain period of time. for example, when you guys came over to our student barbecue, that was one of my favorite vlogs because you got to see all the kids have a blast and do magic and just hang out. Phoenix and Zoe Ann stole the camera, and they went and got ice cream for the very first time in their lives from a little, ice cream truck.
Wait, they never had ice cream, or they've never been to an ice cream truck?
Yeah, Zoe Ann never once saw an ice cream truck, so she stole my camera and went down the block, and it was super, super cool, right? And so you get to see, like the vlog that we just posted 2 days ago, you got to see the girls for the very first time talk about chickens. You get to see what we did on my birthday party. You get to see Isis, or my cat, be totally ridiculous, and that's always fun.
You named your cat Isis?
Yeah, not after the terrorist group. A lot of people think that. Isis is actually the Egyptian goddess of magic.
Is that where Isis comes from then, that name? Do they love
Isis
magic?
ISIS is the Egyptian goddess of magic. Okay. Now, I think ISIL, that's just an acronym for the terrorist group.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's just an acronym. It's not like they were like, ISIS is based on blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's
good we cleared that up, because I know if I skip that, people would be like, bro, he just named his cat after Isis.
So what's really funny is when I got Isis and I posted the picture, people were like, what was funny is I didn't even have to say anything. I stepped back, and all the people on my Facebook page were battling each other because someone posted, why would you name your cat after the terrorist group? And then someone else was like, you're an idiot. If you actually knew your history and Egyptian history, you'd know that Isis is actually the Egyptian goddess of magic, and people were just blasting each other. And I'm like,
I love that.
This is entertaining.
It happens to me quite a bit. Sometimes I'll just post and never comment, and people will just argue with each other. And my posts are something like the other day. I'm like, if the government doesn't open up, I'm gonna do something. And then people are just battling each other, and I'm like, it wasn't really that serious. And then somebody messaged me on like how insensitive I am.
What did you say back?
I don't message them. I just block them.
Oh, interesting.
Anytime somebody messages me with, they're just stupid people. So anytime somebody takes the time to feel like they can't comment or they don't understand my humor, and then they have to message me because they think I'm doing this radical push on things, which I don't do. Like, I'm not going to talk politics with anybody. I'm not going to have an in-depth conversation on Facebook about the beliefs of history or what I think happens after death or something. So I just what I say is what I say. I'm not making money because PPA, SBA, I don't have money right now. So I'm upset. That's it.
Well,
there's no underlining.
Let me be devil's advocate here. When you post something that is about the government, or saying, if I don't receive money, would you agree that you've just stepped into politics?
Yes and no. It's more about me rather than I feel like politics is about sides, about you have one side or the other. I don't know Democrats to Republicans. I don't know what either does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
I just look at it every year, or every time we go election, I just look at what's going on, and like when they ask me to register, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I am. Why can I just vote for things?
Do you feel like you're more Republican? Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Democrat, Republican, or like a libertarian?
I've always put down Republican.
Interesting.
But I think I've always done it because of whatever the Republican side was pushing on that end. But like, it confuses the crap out of me. It's just one of those things where I don't spend the time to go, what does that mean? Am I allowed to change? Like, I had to look up the word bipartisan 3 weeks ago because I'm like, oh, what does that mean? Because I keep hearing bipartisan. I'm like, oh, cool. I can be bipartisan. I want to be bipartisan. It makes sense. Where are you posting all of your guys' videos?
Yeah, so a lot of times, obviously we have them up on YouTube. We send them out in our email blast, and then we send them out, on our social media sites and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Again, at first
you guys don't have them on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, that's where we post The Impossible Life. And you'll see, actually, if you go on The Impossible Life YouTube page, you'll actually see the header that was created for the show that was going to launch.
Oh.
And again, we were really excited about that. Again, though, we do those videos for us.
Right.
When Michelle and I sit down on the couch, and this is not to sound bad to anyone watching it, we love when people watch our content and talk to us about it. But we don't do it for everyone else. We do it for us because it's our time that Michelle and I can be together and just hash out ideas. Many times that we've had talks either about the girls, because I'm an Insta dad. Some of those very first podcasts, video podcasts, were very emotional for me because the girls moved in And I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Right. How am I, like, I went from bachelor almost to Insta-dad with a 8 and 10-year-old.
Girls. Right.
Yeah. Everyone in my house is a woman. I don't, even all the chickens are hens. Like,
same here. I mean, I just got my boy, but like, yeah.
I am the only male, even though we brought the tarantula home, female, right?
Yeah,
so
tarantula.
Yeah, right. So there was a lot of things where I was really trying to figure out where things were going, and they were very raw, and people enjoyed just listening. And you'd get guys that would come and be like, I'm an Insta-dad too, and I'd get people that message me. That we love, but we don't do it for other people. We really do it for us.
Right.
And it's very therapeutic almost. The vlog, though, I love editing and I love putting out those, and I try to make them fun. And it's also really cool for the girls to watch them. They love watching how I put things together.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same here. Like I have a YouTube channel. I have these podcasts. I don't know who's listening. I don't know what's going on. I don't, YouTube I've had for like 6 years, but last 2.5 years, I've been pushing content like crazy. You watch my views. I mean, some videos have like 10, 11 views. I'll spend the same amount of time on them. I'm really doing them for myself. And I used to vlog a ton as well with the girls and everything. And they'll actually go on the large screen, pick up the app on YouTube, and then watch the vlogs of when they were little. And so that's kind of why I do it for them. We're not doing this to be YouTube famous, but it's just nice.
You got into the unboxing game a little bit, and I think you're enjoying that, and really product reviews. Your whole background right now speaks to that. You've really, I
just like buying shit.
Right, but you have set up sort of that YouTuber type of area, right? That's super cool. And for me, I've wanted to really showcase everything that's going on in our life per se. And not get into that aspect. And it's really cool to watch different people like yourself, to where it's neat to watch the podcast. And then it's neat to watch over here to the family life, right?
Right.
In one of the videos, Michelle just said, now we're the Impossible Ranch, right? Like, it's like Demolition Ranch, right?
Yeah.
And so people start to follow it, and they start to message you and be like, that was the best vlog yet. And you'll be like, we just binge watched all of your podcast, and that's cool. That's a really neat thing. So I enjoy that kind of stuff. And you'll also, people have followed you to where they're like, oh, Jeramie Lou just did this newest gadget. I need to have it. Right. And that speaks to the quality of your content, which is awesome.
It's fun. And, we're ultimately, I push everything through via my brand, because I'm not just a photographer, right? And so even my website's jeramielou.com. It doesn't even say photography. And so my goal is that and it happens all the time, or Lindsay will go to the store and somebody will stop her and be like, oh, you're Jeramie Lou's wife. Or they'll look at our kids and be like, you're Jeramie Lou's kids. And it's creepy, but that's the thing what I kind of did. And so that's my brand.
Have you already tattooed your son? Is that why? He's walking around with tattoos and be like, that must be Jeramie Lou's son.
I got him a tattoo outfit, the ones that you put on. It's like a shirt, but sleeves have tattoos on them.
That's funny.
So we got him that, and I want to do a photo shoot of him in it. But no, everybody knows him, and he's a little celebrity kind of walking around, so it works out pretty well. Cool. So if people want to watch these vlogs, videos, you have a YouTube channel. I'm sure it's easy enough to find.
I think that's wanted to go back to your original question was, why did I change my name? Because everything's impossible. I'm the only one in the country with that last name. No one else has it.
Are you sure?
I am sure. I looked it up. I can't find anybody. If someone else has the last name Impossible,
it'd be some Filipino kid, and
probably we need to meet. And so for me, again, it's that branding aspect to where everything is impossible. Impossible Life, Impossible's Magic Shop, Impossible University.
Theoretically, it should be easy enough for people to remember you. I mean, I always, in fact, I booked a wedding, and I can't remember who I booked. I was talking to somebody, and you're on my referral list for weddings, right? So I was like, they're like, hey, do you have referrals? I'm like, yeah, I'll send you an email. I'm like, I have bars, and I even have this magician guy that's on there too. You can totally just have a magician at your wedding. And they're like, is that Justin Impossible? And I'm like, it is. And she apparently used to babysit her kids or something, or I can't remember.
I've had a lot of jobs, man.
So she's like, yeah, he used to babysit my kids, and I've known him forever. Yeah, so it's a small town kind of thing, and that's what I like. So let's transition here. You are a small business. You're self-employed. You employ other people as well. I'm not sure if you're going for the PPP, unemployment, all that fun stuff, but how has coronavirus kind of affected you? Just to backtrack, you have a magic shop. You guys do shows there. You do adult theme shows, and you also do kid theme shows, so people can
I love when people say adult theme. That was always the funniest thing when I was on Melissa Carlson's show on Fox.
Is it adult themed?
Yeah, she would always coin it as these adult shows, and she would always laugh. She's like, "You'll get a lot of play off of this."
Yeah,
but it sounds like they're adult shows.
Is it more just like cussing, or is that somebody just naked?
No, the reason why is if Mr. Jeramie, if I ask you to think of a best friend from your childhood and over the next 4 minutes divulge that on air, kids can understand when something disappears and comes back. Mm-hmm. Older kids can understand what I'm doing, but I'll lose most of the other people. And the thing is, too, I remember the very first time that I put out my adults only show.
Right.
Within 5 minutes, the guy in the front row dropped at least 3 F-bombs. He can do that because he knows there's no kids around and he can say whatever he wants. And so that show is one of those shows that anything goes. Now, with that, I don't do anything that's naughty, graphic. I don't drop F-bombs. That's just not my personality.
Right. So it's not like a sexy thing.
No. It's just meant for adults. It's meant for a date night. It's meant for you to get away from the kids and have a great time. Right? Okay. That's the only reason. But how do you say that? How do you put all that into it's an adults-only show, right?
Right.
So, yes, I do the shows. You keep going. Yeah.
So you do the shows, and then on top of that, you educate and you have classes. So, I mean, those of us with kids here, imagine, and my kid actually will go back to Justin when we get to go back.
Yeah, they left because, and people do that. They go through different transitions.
That's how kids are.
Volleyball.
Right. So she ended up doing volleyball super hardcore through the school, through Doral. And then she started taking a camp and everything kind of shut down, but she's actually been asking more about magic. So they can do a weekly class. There's a master class and then a weekly hour that they get with you or one of your staff, and they get to learn magic. So, it's the same thing as taking your kids to voice acting, volleyball, basketball, whatever. They can learn magic. And when I tell people my daughter does magic, they're like, oh my God, there's a magic, like you can learn magic. And how cool is that? And the thing I like about magic is it's about presentation. It's about talking to people you haven't met, or maybe even walking up to a crowd of people and be like, hey guys, can I show you something? Which there's that skill our kids do not have via social media because we're so stuck on the freaking phone. Even when I just tell them to go say hi to somebody, they I don't like a boy that they know. Yesterday, a boy drives by we had a birthday parade for our neighbor, and my daughter's sitting there in the back. I don't want to go say hi. I'm scared. That's obviously a boy she thinks is cute, and so we had to drag her. And I'm like, how embarrassing must this be for me to drag you over to this dude when you can just straddle up to him and be like, what's up?
Yeah.
So tell me, you have kids, you have classes. What have you guys had to do to transition, and are you still able to make money during this time?
Yeah, good question. So here's what I will say. My last call with the mayor, Mark Esty was on there. And the number one thing that I took away from that entire call, which I've been doing since day one, which I'll get back to that in just a second, was in this time, if you cannot transition your business and you cannot pivot in a rapid way, you will get left behind. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things is Michelle and I have been following the virus since about January 20th. We just happened to accidentally, because my dad he's always been pushing me, Justin, you got to buy gold, you got to buy silver, you got to buy tangible things, right?
Yeah.
You can't buy stupid shit. You got to buy the value, the stuff, the hard assets, right?
Right.
So we were following this gold guy, and then all of a sudden he starts talking about this coronavirus, this out of China, and we're like, I love end of days movies, Day After Tomorrow, 2020 or no 20 I don't know. I love all asteroid stuff. I love all that stuff. So I'm like, this is cool. I want to follow this stuff. back then I thought it was cool. Not anymore, obviously.
Well, yeah, we watch the movies and there's a hero, there's, somebody that saves everybody's lives, San Andreas, all that stuff.
Right. Oh, San Andreas, right. Yeah. So we're following this, and Michelle and I have noticed every night we're watching this, right? He comes out with a video, we're watching it. Mid-February, we're like, we need to prep. And we start talking to some of our friends, and we're like, are you prepping for this? And they're like, you're being crazy. And I'm like, I don't think I'm being crazy. Right. And so we start prepping for this. We closed our doors March 11th to the magic shop. Mm-hmm. All of the entertainment goes out the window. And then I immediately transitioned to online lessons only. Because we already had 20 students that were regularly taking lessons. And so now our online lessons, you get 2 pretty much online video chats with us on Zoom. Wednesday nights, you have a jam masterclass. We have this folder that we make videos and we pop them in there so that kids can watch. And it's really, if you think about it, you have how many kids, Jeramie?
4 that I know of.
Okay, and they're all home. So really, your hair is starting to go gray, right?
Right.
Or I call platinum. I love platinum.
It's a style. It's good.
And so, for us, when I hop on a Zoom call with one of my students, dude, I'm immediately jazzed because they're not enjoying life as much as they were, and I'm not as well because I can't go out and perform. I can't go to my magic shop. My business is losing money, and I'm stressed. But for that 30 minutes, that kid who was normally just been like, doing homework and like watching TV, he gets to talk to a live human being, and we get to jam out and do card tricks. And I teach him something that he's going to fry his parents with tonight, and he's going to look like a rock star. Right. He or she. I actually got like half girls, half guys right now. Adults, kids, all ages. And so we've transitioned to that's all we're doing right now. We are trying to figure out how to do kids' birthday parties and events at the magic shop. All my events have been not canceled, but they've been pushed. I think I've got 4 birthday parties that were immediately happening like mid-March that got pushed. I did not get, I have such little, here's the problem. Here's my frustration. And I've never really voiced this, but if my rent is $2,200 and this is at the magic shop and all the expenses and everything like that, but my payroll is very, very small because I am an individual LLC, the PPP that I would have gotten is like $1,000. What am I going to do with $1,000? Right? Nothing. Right? I did not get IDO. I cannot file for unemployment because I'm technically an individual LLC. A lot of my entertainment comes from 1099. They haven't gotten that set up. Actually, I just got a text message from Mayor Shivi like literally 5 minutes ago because one of my friends who's a gig worker, I can tell is super stressed, and he's still like, I can't do anything with.
We won't even know anything until mid-May at this point.
She says, all I know is 1099 has not been rolled out yet. And if you think about that, 1099 people are all about, gigs. There's no gigs. So those are the people that are immediately hit. Right. And we've been hit from, when was the last time that a client paid you, like actually from an event? A while ago.
Right.
So,
it's before the lockdown for sure.
Right. And so those people are getting hit hard. So no, I haven't received any money from any of those different things. I'm focusing on how can I pivot my business to capitalize on what I'm doing right now. Michelle was really, dude, I don't know how she swung this. A couple of weeks before lockdown, her agent calls her and says, hey, I got this company who's looking for a person to do hair tutorials with their products. She has a meeting, they love her, and now she is doing, videos 4 to 5 a week, just doing hair product stuff. And those are getting pushed to Walmart and Claire's. She's having a blast with them. I edit them. So she films, I edit. I like editing. I don't know. It's like my one time I can zone out by myself. I don't know. That's what we're doing right now. And so we try to make the best of it. We prepped as best as we could. We're doing home stuff. I don't know. I
think it's smart. So let's say that when everything comes back, right?
Yeah.
Do you have the capacity to add more of these Zoom and keep that going? Or is the goal to bring everybody into the shop? Because now I can picture your business. Here's what's happening. A lot of people, including myself, have found other things, hence the podcast, my YouTube, and all that stuff. And I'm finding other ways to make money because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a hustler, and that's just life, right? I'm never going to go with
Jeramie, do you have an OnlyFans account?
What is that? What is an OnlyFans? No. I want like a,
I was thinking about doing a
Patreon.
No,
I was thinking of doing a Patreon for like, $25 a month. I'll do the whole podcast naked or something. Because that's what people are paying for. If you have like a fans only, they just want to see you naked. They really don't care about other things.
I know. And you know what? I think one of the things that I have said is that I've seen people on Facebook right now that, this is going to sound bad, that I either had respect for,
right, that
is slowly diminishing, because there's a certain values that you have as a human being that, okay, I'm not up here on this pedestal. If Michelle said, hey, Justin, we're not making enough money, dude, I'm going to go down to Lowe's and I'm going to do whatever I can to support my family.
Right.
And there's a difference between morally, like what I'm okay with, and saying, no, I'm not okay with.
Right.
And so it has been very interesting to just see people go a certain direction. Now, they're doing what they have to do to take care of themselves. Right. I may not be okay with that. And so that's
I see what you're saying. I mean, so I joined TikTok recently, and I feel the same way. So I kind of scroll through. I'm more of a poster, and then that's how I do all my social media. So everybody watching this, I'm sorry, I'm just not good at social media. I'm good at posting my shit. Thank you for looking and watching, but I don't look at your shit. So on TikTok, same thing, I post, but sometimes I'll kind of go through for ideas. And what I'm noticing is girls are getting a ton of likes for wearing like a no bra dance kind of thing, or just showing their butt at the first and then doing a dance or saying something. Yeah. The ones that are like actually giving you information or doing something comedic or funny aren't getting the likes. And so what's happening is all these younger girls are feeling like, this is what I have to do. They're not making money from it. They just want to get that fame. And so I feel like kind of the same way, like you have to stick to your morals and your values, because otherwise that's really all you have. Once you kind of cross that line, it's kind of over.
I remember when Michelle had a very real conversation with her agent, who was a model for a very long time, doing contracts with Budweiser and like traveling and singing to Korea and that kind of stuff. And she goes, why are all these people doing photo shoots where it's not for a specific purpose? You're like, oh, Jeramie, shoot me. Jeramie, shoot me. Jeramie, shoot me. And it's like, for what? You're going to post those pictures on Instagram and then what? Like there's a difference between building your portfolio and then saying, I'm going to make this an actual business. So Michelle built her portfolio up and then said, okay, I'm not going to do photo shoots anymore. I am going to go after the business. And that means making phone calls, making emails, reaching out to people saying, here's what I can do for you. Here's my portfolio to show who I am.
Right.
She has never been that person, probably because she also has kids, but never been that person that say like, I'm going to shake my booty and my boobs. She loves watching women who do food tutorials in a fun way. Those are so much more entertaining than
I know. Well, and that's what I think. There's no talent involved in that. I mean, yes, you're beautiful. You look amazing. Like guys like looking at you, but where's the talent? And I get frustrated. I've done photo shoots of, and people obviously pay me to do it, but I also get reamed a lot from, I was put on the dirty.com simply because I said no to a model who wanted me just to shoot her. She's, she sent me a portfolio, said, I do this. I've shot with all these photographers. Normally they pay me $200 a shoot or something. Do you want to shoot me? And I said, you know what? I'm a commercial photographer. This is my business. You can hire me. I'm not going to pay you. And because I have nothing to put this towards. Like, what am I shooting you for? Same thing, dirty.com, whatever. So I kind of fought through it. But yeah, there's no talent involved. And once you find your talent, I think that's, we just live in this social media world. So swinging back then, can you take what you've been doing in your business now with the Zoom and all that? Can you continue that? And do you anticipate your business getting bigger and maybe more, let's say, statewide, national, or something where you can teach big courses to groups of people?
Yeah, I do. So a couple different things there. One, do I think the magic shop is going to come back? Yes, eventually. Will it be exactly the same? No. I'm working through that. Like, how do I do events there is going to be a little bit different. And so one of the conversations that I'm having with a few of my different friends is, especially those that are, not to go political, either Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian, to say, hey, Is it my job to provide Jeramie Lou a mask when he comes into the magic shop? Or is it my job to say, Jeramie Lou, you're not allowed to come into the magic shop without a mask?
Right.
Okay?
Do you have
Two
to do a
different ways to
temperature
think about
check
it.
when they come in? All that stuff.
Right. So do I think that the birthday parties and everything will come back? 100%. Do I think that people will we be doing it differently with like plates of food out and people can just grab food? I think that will dramatically change. Will Michelle be there with a mask and gloves serving food? Maybe. I don't know. We're figuring those things out.
Right.
I would hope that they come back because I will seriously, heartfully miss that aspect of my business if I don't. Do I think that the lessons and everything will always stick? Yes. I can name you 4 different presidents. Muhammad Ali is a great example. He had a full-time magician travel around with him just teaching him magic because he knew that he had trouble talking,
right.
that kind of stuff. And through magic, you've seen it, your own daughter. Mm-hmm. My kids, who are normally very shy, come out of their shell when they learn how to talk and how to interact with people, especially when they're trying to fry them with a magic trick. So
dude, I learned how to get out of handcuffs with a paper clip.
Yes,
I have black handcuffs right here, and so I would just practice like this, and then I got stuck a couple times. So
it happens. The worst is when you're picking it with the paper clip, and then behind your back, and the paper clip breaks off into the handcuffs.
Oh, that hasn't
you have
happened
this
yet,
shit moment where you're just like, what am I gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So, could I always do online lessons? Yes. Will there always be? I think there's going to be an interesting shift, especially if things don't open up, because you're going to have people who probably could afford lessons prior, who are probably going to start restricting their money.
Right.
And then you have people that just have money that just like, dude, take my kid for an hour. Like, I need a break. I need to go enjoy some wine or some,
right.
A couple different things there. So do I think that I could always do lessons? Yes. Do I love them? Absolutely. I'll be very disappointed if I can't do events anymore. I think that is like events in general is sort of like phase 3. Again, with you, Michelle and I talked about that. She does hair and makeup for weddings. She loves that. Maybe weddings are going to be different. Maybe they're going to be smaller. Right. She may have more weddings now because women are not spending money how they used to be. And they may be spending money more on hair and makeup. I don't know.
Yeah, we've definitely talked a lot about that because I talked to a lot of wedding vendors, so we don't know how it's going to work. I mean, my weddings are being postponed until the end of the year, so
we don't know, right?
We don't.
It's a very kind of fluid day by day situation, as Mark F.D. said. It's a very day by day thing. I hope everything would come back, but if it doesn't, I'm trying to structure my business the best that I can.
I like the idea of the online, the Zoom. I think that's I think that's a smart way to go. And for me, honestly, I feel that's a way for you just to kind of increase your business, get some more magicians in and do the online thing. But yeah, there's that aspect of being in front of you that I think people don't.
I mean, let's talk about this right now. What is it? It is March 27th at 11:49. If I was Jeramie right now,
bro.
Yeah, if I was, right? April 27th.
April. Yeah, come on.
It is April. I'm like looking at him like, is it really April 27th? Holy crap. If I was Jeramie Lou, I would, and you've done it before. One of the things that I've seen is a lot of magicians are doing free shows.
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of that because everyone's doing free shit. If you have a base of people and you keep putting out content, you have people that are following you. Jeramie Lou teaches photography classes and how you can do backyard photography. Not so much wedding, but everyone wants to use their own
just
camera.
Normal now, stuff.
Right, to take pictures of their own kids, right? And so now Jeramie Lou does $50 Zoom classes or whatever it is. And now he tries to pivot his business so that he can bring what he was making before into that sort of world. I don't know.
Right.
Those are the type of things that you're starting to have conversations with, because it's like, I don't know how long this is going to last.
It's a smart way to do it. I mean, that's why I do YouTube. I mean, I think I pull about $500 a month on YouTube with what I do, and it's free to them. And even my hour mentor sessions, I haven't charged opening my studio hatch, that's closed now. But it was me about bettering the community. And now I'm at that point where should I start charging how do I push that out? So if it gets to that point, then yeah, I'll be doing that to kind of push my thing out. I mean, I was on Skillshare, and I still have videos on there where people pay to watch my courses, and I just get a residual. But that's the entrepreneur side, right? So we kind of need to figure out how we're doing this and what's going on. We have.
Let me ask you really quick. How do you feel that you closed Hatch right before all this stuff went down?
I feel great. So look, I feel great that I closed Hatch in general. Mm-hmm. I do know that if it was still open at this point, the landlords would not have helped me at all. I just know that just from the closing and all that and everything we had to do. I closed Hatch for the simple reason of I was kind of done with it. I was tired with it. I love the photographers that have been through there, but the support in the community kind of changed on the photography side. And I think a lot of photographers can agree. A lot of models can agree. So I wanted to focus more on my business. But yeah, I mean, if it was open now, it's different because photographers, we are far apart from our clients. I feel like we could easily do our job, but I get why we're not. I get why we're supposed to be not encouraging people to come out to our business. It has nothing to do with physically being 6 feet apart. It's just keep people at home.
You know what? I disagree. I have to disagree with that. I think there is nothing wrong with Jeramie going out into a forest with his clients 6 feet apart. We already have friends that will pop over that we know have been safe, and we will 6 feet apart take a walk down the block.
Right.
Because if we're doing 6 feet apart anyway, and let me tell you, this virus is not only virus physically, it's mentally. And so I will go on record. I can only go so long without seeing and talking to my friends before I start going crazy in my head. So what's more important? Is it maintaining social distancing to what are the guidelines are and also seeing your friends? So I think there's nothing wrong with a photographer.
No, I think we agree on the same thing. I was being a little more PC with it. But
I don't PC about anything right now.
Like here's the deal, because if I say something to photographers, if I'm like, so look, May 1st, I'm going to start shooting. Whether I've started shooting or not, I'm not going to tell people, but I still don't have the virus. I was on a phone call with the mayor last Monday or something, and we were talking about it. We were kind of like, I'm like, what do we need to do? I'm not getting help from anybody. You were talking about you aren't able to get help. I'm able to get help, but I haven't gotten shit. So May 1st, I'm going back to work, right? May 1st, I'm going back to work, regardless of what anybody says. I can get fined. I can get whatever. But it's such a weird thing that I can't shoot, but I can go to Safeway and do this with a bunch of people and try to block my face from them, and that's okay.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where, like, I'm trying to be smart about it. I'm trying to help people understand, but in my mind,
so are you saying that you can shoot, you just can't post about it?
Yeah, I can't do my Instagram stories. So my stories now have been dead. So normally I'll do like a behind the scenes or whatever to promote my business. You're not going to see that. All the stuff that I'm posting now are from old shoots. But if you think I'm shooting this month, prove it, motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. And I would agree. And I think it's a little bit more difficult. I'm not going to do, so one of the things I will not do shows yet. I can't do entertainment because I feel like as soon as I walk into that ball game, now you are doing full entertainment. It's not like I'm just like, hey, Jeramie, come on over, be 6 feet afraid. I'm going to show you a card trick. It's not like that.
Right, because you have a group of people sitting together.
Yeah, and my business is straight up entertainment. Right. I just don't think that there's anything wrong with going in the forest and you shooting people. No. What is it for? It's for your own gratification of, you need to do it. This is what you love.
They even threatened us with the porch sessions that people were posting where you can go in front of somebody's porch. And I was like, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And then I got this strong-worded letter from somebody on how we're going to get fined and lose our business.
Who cares? License. Here's the thing. Why is everyone so worried about what everyone else is doing?
Right.
To the fact of do it, ask for forgiveness later. I think so many people are worried. I just don't post anything. I have never once posted anything political or anything that I'm doing other than what's in our videos because they're fun. People don't know what I'm doing. Not that I'm doing anything. I'm just saying I'm not going to post about it. And I think that's difficult because everyone is in the posting world, right? So everyone's I went to the store today, so I need to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about that. What Michelle and I will go to Winco and sometimes we'll go together. is that the right thing to do? Because they say, oh, only one person will go.
Yeah.
I don't post about it. I don't need to post about me going to the store. Who cares? Right?
Lindsay and I don't go to the store together because she doesn't invite me.
Well, that's the different thing. Michelle and I love to go together. We hold hands. We snuggle.
Yeah, you guys are still newlyweds. Like, come on. Give me another 10 years and then we'll talk, bro. We're at Lindsay and I are 11, 12 years now.
So you're saying it changes. It changes.
Yes, it changes.
It changes.
You're gonna want to go to the store just to get away. You think your editing time is that relaxing time until they're here, and you're like, this is my relaxing time. Why are you here? Look, I built an office in the garage to get away from the family in the house. So
okay, so let's do this. It is April 27th, what's the date?
2020, bro.
2020. Thank you. In 10 years, in 2030, we're gonna have another podcast, and you're gonna say, hey, do you still go to the store with your wife holding hands and snuggling in aisle 24? And I'll be like,
Winco, yeah.
At Winco, and I'll be like, dude, you're crazy.
Dude, I haven't been to Winco in so long. We've been doing.
Well, here's what I will say about Winco. Walmart, shit show. Everyone's next to each other. Winco, it's one in, one out.
Right.
Everyone's super social distancing. So whatever you want to say about Winco, I will say they've done.
I think they're doing great. I just haven't been. We live in Sparks. But we've been going to grocery outlet. Safeway has their lines set up where it's one way in, one way out only. And then Sprouts is actually really good. So we just shop.
I've been there. Yeah.
I eat vegan, so I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't. We went vegan 2 months prior to the lockdown, and now we're about 80% vegan.
Yeah, so I'm still 100%. Actually, Michelle, I'm supposed to order. She sent me a video, so I'm going to order that stuff. I just haven't had time to watch the video, Michelle. I'm sorry. I'll just order it. Can you just tell me what to order? I need B12.
B12. You know what? I every day and every night I drink Zeal, and I will tell you,
company, right? Zeal's the brand or the company?
Yeah, so it's Zervita, and Zeal is the product, and she's been doing it for 10 something years. Right. She has a ton of clients on it, and she loves it. I love it. What's up, Jet? How you doing, buddy? Dude, he's always stylish, man. That's what I will say. Jet is always stylish. What are you drinking there, buddy? It's a little bit early. It's not even noon yet, and he's already pounding something.
You drinking juice? You say hi?
Oh, it's
say
juice.
Hi, Justin.
What's up, Jet? Justin. How are you doing, buddy?
Say hi. Hi.
He's like, dude, hi. Don't. Why you messing with me? Why are you messing with my face, Dad? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, what were you saying? Man. Go on.
Mm-hmm. Jet's like, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Jet.
Okay, say bye.
Hey, what words does he do full conversations yet? What does he say?
He repeats everything that we say. But yeah, he says, "Can you say I love you?" You say I love you?
He's like, Dad, I got juice.
What does a dinosaur say? What does a dinosaur say?
He's like, nope. It's dude, camera shy, man. See, the best thing that you could do for your business right now is for him to just barf all over right now, and that video would go viral. During podcast, baby barfs, projectile
barf everywhere.
Yep.
That's just the way it works.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, so I feel like you guys have a lot going on. You guys are managing things well. One of the inspiring things that we notice, that Lindsay and I notice, is how you guys are very connected with your family, with your kids, how you guys are always doing stuff, building chicken coops, having people over. And it's one of those things that, we always like, hey, we should do stuff like that. But,
why don't you?
We just don't. I mean, I just...
No. Don't give me that shit. Why don't you?
We just don't. There's no reason. I mean, I just don't. Like, our downtime is rare. So,
I know that's tough.
We both... and it's the same. I mean, we have the same things. We're self-employed. You're self-employed. We have kids. You have kids. It's just how we choose our time to do everything. But yeah, so we always look at stuff like that and like, oh, we should do stuff like that more. But we choose our time a little differently. And there's nothing wrong with either or. It's just...
No, I would agree. There are times where Michelle will have to say to me, like, hey, we need our own time. Like, we just need a couple nights where we are doing our own thing. I mean, now it's like, we always do our own thing, but we also get along really. We always make the joke, right? And this is not a knock against anybody, but we always make the joke that we're like, we actually like each other.
Right.
And it's that funny thing to where we get along really well. We talk a lot. and we enjoy our time. Like other people like their own time, and I do too, but Michelle and I we jive really, really well together in a lot of aspects. We bounce ideas off of each other, and it really works. Right now I'm very blessed in that, and I'm really blessed that I've in this new relationship, and being an Insta dad, and Michelle's ex is awesome. Like, how cool is it on my birthday when he has the girls, he brings them to the magic shop and has a birthday, and he's singing happy birthday, and he's roller skating around on a, we're throwing cards and playing pinball. Like, whose ex actually does that?
It's rare. And that's
rare.
I think that's, that's years from now, the girls remember that, but that's how Lindsay's dads are. So, her parents got divorced, got remarried at a very young age. And I mean, the other day we were all at their house for like barbecue, hanging out and all that stuff. So
it's for the kids. It's for the kids. It's not like him and I are going to be best friends and be besties. It's not about that. It's about the girls,
Right. But you never, I mean, as long as you guys can talk and be in the same room together and not have to have any weird, which also is a good testament to them, how they kind of ended everything. And they kind of were like, yep, we didn't mesh. We got it. 100%. We still have kids to raise.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. So we are going to end the Facebook Live part here. I'm going to keep you on. But before we do that, I always give everybody an opportunity to pimp themselves out. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I know you can do this easily. Just talk about yourself, buddy. Tell people about you, what you're doing, and how to find you, and all that stuff. Go for it.
You talk about myself? I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry.
Rare, right? I know.
Yeah, rare. You know what? Everyone knows Justin Impossible in some regards. I just like to have a good time. And so my main thing, especially through this right now, is how can I come away as a better business person and a better individual, a better dad, a better magician, and not go crazy, right? I don't want to go crazy right now. So my main thing is, if you have kiddos and you don't want them to go crazy either, I would love my team and I to just have a really good time teaching your kiddos. And hopefully in a month to 2 months from now, I will have my magic shop back up. It's actually a lot of fun. People are ordering stuff, and I do door drop-offs. So I'll go to the magic shop, and while I'm running errands, I'll drop off magic supplies. And I'm like, I never thought I would do that kind of stuff.
Right. And
this is sort of the world that I'm in right now. And, just trying to put out fun content and have a good time with my family. And that's my main goal right now, is to make sure my family unit, they always say that if your family unit is golden, you're golden. Right. And I'm trying to make sure that my family is happy and taken care of. And that's all I can do right now.
So guys, I do want to remind you that we do have a magic shop in Reno, right? So we keep saying this word magic shop. Justin sells magic stuff. He teaches magic stuff, and they have a really impressive theater that they built from scratch in the back. So actually when you go there, you feel like you're somewhere else. In between the theater and the main shop area, the lobby is another little like cozy area. He has like a secret door built in there.
That's the museum.
The museum is what it's called. So a bunch of different magic stuff, pinballs in the back there. There's a snake that hangs out in the back in a cave or in a glass aquarium.
Like you just lost half your viewers right there.
Oh,
what?
Snake?
Yeah. They're like,
I'm the snake. Yeah, it's there. Just beware. So the shop local aspect, if you're looking for any type of, I don't want to say gag gift, but like magic gift, gag gift, or something like that, he sells it at the shop. And if he can't, he'll get it. So if you want to support small business, go for it. And his prices aren't marked up or anything. It's just what you can get on Amazon, but you can get there and support local. So it's a huge thing where I'll go there and I'll be like, dude, I need handcuffs, or I need, my daughter's always, I need these finger things to go on my fingers to throw light. And I could probably do that really easily.
Oh yeah, they're fun. You know what? I will tell you, Jeramie, if there was one thing, I tell adults this all the time, if there's one thing that you were to ever carry around on you, it's those Prisma lights, because they go in your pockets.
Right.
And then anytime you just take out a light out of a little kid's ear or off of a light when you're walking around, and kids freak out. It's why at Disneyland, as you know, when you leave Disneyland, everyone's trying to sell you lights.
Right.
Those lights are going to go out in like,
I'm not just going to walk up to a kid and be like, hey, buddy, can I touch your ear?
Here's what I will say. When I travel and fly, there's always kids crying. And all I do is I'm walking to my gate. I just go up to the kid and I go like this, and I take a thing out of the ear and I go boom, boom, boom. And the kid's instantly not crying anymore. And then I'm like, have a great day. And I walk away. And if I could have made kiddo super stoked,
Go ahead and just send me some lights. That'd be great. Drop them off at the house.
Done.
I'll take them.
Done.
I'll practice them, do some cool tricks, put it in my butt and then out my mouth.
I mean, what you do in your own home, you just don't post about it, right?
I mean, I'll tell people I'm cool with it. It's a lot of practice, but it definitely works. All right. Thank you guys, everybody, so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to Raw Focus Podcast, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you guys get your podcasts. Justin, say bye, but don't leave yet.
Bye. Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. Thank you, buddy. How did it go? Pretty smooth?
Oh, yeah. It's great. You know what's funny is everyone always tells me when Justin Hertz, he's a realtor, when he was doing his podcasts and he stopped. And he stopped because he wasn't seeing the views. And I'm like, dude, don't stop, man. You just keep on going, right? And he would always tell me, he's like, every single time that you would come on, we would just talk. And it was super easy. And I just enjoy talking. And you've probably had a couple maybe that you start talking and you're like, man, this is so difficult. Why is it so am I tired? Or like certain people you can just jam with. And other people, wow, that totally didn't ring at all during our entire time, and now it just rang. That's crazy.
Do you have do you have Do Not Disturb set up automatically?
No, but you know what? I did on my phone. It was silent, and it came up on my computer, and I didn't do that on my computer.
Mine's Do Not Disturb. For like when I set up a Zoom thing, it just automatically does Do Not Disturb on my phone. I don't realize, and then I get nothing until it's like later.
Cool. I need to do that.
It's like a Google Calendar thing.
Yeah, so certain calls will be super easy, and other ones I'm like, why is it so difficult today?
Right. Well, and yeah, sometimes I'm like pulling things out of people and I'm like, you know, and I start to like look here and I start to drift and I'm like, there's a camera on me. Don't forget. But no, I mean, you know, we know each other. So I think it's easy to mesh. You're pretty well known. You can talk, I think, by yourself all the time. And that's kind of even the YouTuber thing, right? Like, I feel like I can get on the camera and just go and talk and then look back later and be like, what the
So let me ask you a question personally, because now that we're off, how are you guys really doing with everything? Because I know that you haven't gotten anything.
Yeah, that's not a secret. I mean, dude, it's frustrating. So I've been selling, you know, gift certificates. Yeah. And that's actually been very well. I sold, you know, $150 gift certificates. I've sold about 160 so far.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Keep that going. So that keeps me going. I'm just, you know, monetizing what we're coming in. Lindsay isn't pulling anything in. She has some stuff going on. But, you know, PPP, actually, while we're here, I just got an email that I was approved for PPP. And so I'll have to check that and see if that's a thing. Unemployment I'm waiting on. But as of right now, we're doing fine. I've done a couple underground shoots, like a couple headshots for a large company that I needed to work with that needed to have it. And so I had to do it just at the studio, and I can maintain that. And then I did a doctor and a nurse at the beginning of everything. In front of their house, dressed up as a doctor and nurse, and then dressed up as them. So we did kind of this, you know, porch thing. But otherwise, dude, kids are being homeschooled. I mean, you guys are going through the same homeschooling.
Yeah, intense, man. Some of their classes, I'm like, Jesus.
Right. But also, like today, they were in class for an hour. Yeah, they were done in an hour, and I'm sitting there like, you sure you're done? Because I keep getting messages from your teachers that you're not turning shit in. Yeah. And then, it's in there. They just don't see it. Yeah. But we're doing pretty chill, pretty fine. We're finally able to see the parents and the kids. I'm at the point now where I'm like, we've done everything we can to not get the virus, and you know, buying groceries, coming home, Lysoling the shit out of everything.
I again will say, and you know, there's certain things you can't post, but like I will say it again that, dude, you doing those headshots and stuff like that, man, you got to do what you got to do right now to like survive. Yeah. And if someone's going to say, no, you can't do this. And I'm like, if I can do it in a safe way, right, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm just not going to talk about it.
Well, it's just a double standard that I get pissed off at, you know, like I go to the store and these places are open, or Chick-fil-A can be open, and I see all the people in there working right next to each other. I'm like, I get we're social distancing, but they're not.
It's super frustrating, for sure.
Right. And I'm not going to take anything away from a business. But give me the reasons why a photographer can't do this. Hairstylists, you know, they're close, but what if it's one person in the salon at the same time? Everything checks out. Everybody's wearing masks. I mean, because masks are supposed to be if you cannot be 6 feet apart. That's what they said. Right. If you can't be 6 feet apart, wear a mask. If you have to be within 6 feet, you know, that's why you wear the mask. Just one of those stupid things. What do you got going on the rest of the day?
I'm working on Chicken Coop, and I'm filming 3 magic videos for my students. And it's kind of go every day from 3 to 5. I have lessons. Mm-hmm. So I structure my mornings so that I can work outside and do that kind of stuff. And then I video, and then I've got my students from 3 to 5. And then on the weekends, I don't have anything. So I pretty much try to put away tech so that I can be with them.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard if we have to edit something, but that's kind of how I structure it. It's a very weird thing because I get to these emotional states to where I'm like, fuck, I just want to go perform, or I need to go, like, do I have a show coming up? And you're like, no, I don't. And it's that's when that's all you've been doing, that's it takes a toll, I think, mentally, where you're just like frustrated. And
I mean, I have a shoot set up for the 1st already, and like I'm already nervous. Like, do I even know how do I do the shoot? Like, do I know how to use my camera? Was all my stuff charged? Like, I start getting anxious again.
How do you pose people and that kind of stuff when I agree. It's almost like you get nervous to where, like, back in the day when you get nervous, you're like, oh shit, I've got this thing coming up, and
that's exactly it. Good. Thank you. I appreciate you doing this.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go so you can do your thing. But if you need anything or you have anything ever to push out, I'm gonna keep this podcast going for a while. Just let me know and we'll get you on and about whatever you guys are doing.
Sounds good, man. Well, hey, I hope your shoots go well, and if you need anything too, just let us know, okay?
I'll keep you posted, buddy.